housing courtesy of Aetherius Arts. This is a guild on EU run by the amazing content creator Futerko. So we have about 100 entries in this contest, and I am judging about a third of them. And we have made it through about 20, I believe. So we are still on EU. Probably going to be either the last or second to last night on EU, and then we have, 8 on NA. So let's get into it. First one is going to be Clockwork Nautilus. Love the name. Cold Harbors to Real Estate. Rapture of the Deep, a wizard's underwater lair. And Hidden Secrets, maybe the viewing room. Let's check it out. Ooh. Alright, I got some Deadlands structures coming in. Ooh, nice surround, like encapsulating this little portal, even adding a boulder right to the middle of it. I like that. Just making it a very one-way or singular direct. Hey, Spellslinger, welcome in. How you doing tonight? Spellslinger, I don't know if you got a chance to see the VOD, but that Hunter's Glade, holy crap, that was amazing. And I was hoping you would pop in, like, just in time, but yeah. 100% loved that. It was such attention to detail in those structures. I could not believe it. So yeah, very well done. Let's see. So we have Deadlands, a little bit of... awesome! Yeah, I'm glad you got to see it. Just wanted to make you aware that I toured it. Awesome. Alright, let's see. We got Deadlands, got a little bit of Apocrypha stairway structures. I like the scattered candles. Very wizardy. We've seen a couple of those aesthetics throughout this contest, like just random little clusters of candles, especially on really dark stone like this. It looks so magical. So yeah, getting us up above all that grass, all that terrain as we come in. Got a mix of Deadlands and volcanic plugs. I love that volcanic plug. It's honestly shocking they haven't put out that many boulders that are better for caves than the volcanic plug. Like, I would love one about twice that size. Would love a long one, love the ones in different colors. It's just a great shape and hitbox to work with. Love, and look, you can do like so much with a cave aesthetic with just all these, and they're pretty cheap too, these volcanic boulders. Right? Yeah, I feel like if I keep screaming into the void how much we need bigger boulders, maybe Zas will indulge us a little bit. But yeah, and some of the nicer ones are for crowns. Like, not a lot of crowns, but, 50 crowns for, 100 boulders if you need 100 boulders adds up. So, yeah. It's weird what things they make home goods and which things they make crown purchase tab. It seems very arbitrary when it comes to their conservatory furnishings. But yeah, anyway. Love a little bridge over the, perhaps this is a moat of some, or no, this is just a little cave. I like how this wizard's underwater lair has been built into this like undersea cave, and you see a little bit of water leaking from, presumably the whole ocean is above us. You got a little, so we're just living in a little pocket of air. Maybe that was forced out by said wizard. Don't want to think about how much you spent on the large clockwork junk heaps either. Oh, I know, right? For all the projects where the small ones just aren't enough. Right, because you have such a way with dirt. I know that sounds like weird to say, but like that's something iconic I've noticed in your builds. Like, you like really have that terrain wizardry down, and that could be a hard thing because we don't have that many good options for dirt. I know we've gotten a few better ones over the years, but by and large, those clockwork junk heaps are just fantastic, and it's such a troll that we can only buy the small ones, or we can spend a little money to save 2 or 3 slots per junk heap. And yeah, in builds where you need like a whole farm, that's the difference between like 2 patches of dirt and 10. I completely agree. It's so weird what, there's an upcharge for the slot savings. I guess it makes sense. They can't give us more slots, but they can sure as hell sell convenience. Oh yeah, I spent so much in my Baldur's Gate build on those sandy boulders, because there was just nothing else that worked for an interior of a cave, like a cave floor. At least for that, where I was trying to replicate something that already existed. Anyway, love the reclaimed wood platforms here. They have quickly become some of my favorite. Just big platforms with a little structure behind them, so you don't have to like worry about making the underside make sense. And we need more platforms with like big chunky foundations like that, because there have been so many times where I've, you know, had a really nice looking floor and I still have to like spend the other slot to make a foundation and then repeat that multiple times all around the area of a build. At least we have some nice big walls, and we have a few, like the Fargrave and the Necrom ones are really nice. Hey Salvus, welcome in, how you doing? Happy little trees. Yeah, we are in a happy little undersea cave. I love the little bits of water leaks there with the waterfall and some upside down fountains there. Really just that dripping cave atmosphere. A little practicality here. Got an armory, got a little bit of snack, got some ritual things. Like just a little pop of clutter here. It's that crate down there. So this is, I guess, the wipe off your shoes part as you go through a portal to this wizard's tower that is underwater, like the Deadlands portcullis stuck in that archway too. Oh, are these the archive thing? Oh wait, no, lattice tile. Oh right, I always forget the underside of that looks like that. That is a really nice big chunk of flagstone. There are so many platforms where I'm like, okay, what is this exactly? And I realize it's just the underside of a platform I haven't used particularly often, because, you know, we don't have a way to flip them in the preview. Especially because, like, this is transparent on the top side, but I guess if you flip it over, it just becomes this. I don't know how that works. I guess it's like the constellation stells. I'll have to mess around with those. But yeah, that is a gorgeous texture. Had I known that these looked like that on the underside, I would have been using a hell of a lot more. Oh, that is really, really cool. Right? Oh, yeah, that is really nuts. And I wonder if that's what's making the shadows, too. Because that looks like Apocrypha something or other. But I'm not sure where that shadow would be coming from. So I'm wondering if that's just the underside of these lattice tiles doing something weird shadow-wise. The big old Molag ball. Nice symmetrical entryway. Ooh, we got aquariums. We got hella aquariums coming up. Ooh, nice big oh, this is like some hedonism central right here. I love this like big I don't want to say orgy sofa, but I'm gonna say orgy sofa. Like, these are just these huge sofa cobbles, but like they're made out of double beds. I love it. Like, that would be so good for like just in front of a TV or something if you have a big enough space. Just like the height of excess. Sit 4, my favorite sit. Look at that. That is cozy as hell. I love it. Oh, and like you don't have to worry about hiding the pillows, because when you're using 2 whole double beds, you just, you know, they're throw pillows now, just on either side. And I think I was saying before how I really like the sheets, these nice like satiny sheets on the Apocrypha beds. And of course, being Apocrypha, the marble of them goes really nicely with the extra Deadlands stuff that's been added here. We got the curved Deadlands wall, one horizontal, one vertical. So yeah, this is not only a resplendent, luxurious, gigantic sofa, but it's really slot efficient. You got 2 walls, 2 beds, a couple throw pillows, and boom. And I really adore these lava rocks, these craftable lava rocks, just for how much wiggly air they make. If you ever just have a need to convey a lot of water and you don't want to buy bubbles, consider the wiggly air of the lava rocks, because as you can see here, it works so nicely for the, you know, you can see the fish kind of moving with it. You know, swamp jelly cruising around. They have some really nice like lava-y things to just kind of make it all look like an underwater lava vent, which are honestly some really cool nature features that we don't see cobbled a whole lot. But just because of how this one stone gives you so much wiggly air to work with, it it can be really cool to make like a geothermal vent underwater aquarium thing, like Clockwork Nautilus has done here. Look at all the schools of fish. I really like that. Just all the cheap fishies just arranged in a little school of varying sizes. You get your hermit crab. Oh, I just got a lead for the hermit crab music box, but I haven't previewed what that sounds like. I don't know if any of you have gotten that yet, and you'll have to tell me how it actually sounds. Love antiquity music boxes. Got a little skeleton butler, I'm assuming. And I'm wondering if Azander is the one who lives here, or if he's just a guest. Those are really cool table, too. Those are Deadlands columns and the Deadlands... Oh, no, it's just Deadlands walls. This whole table is one wall. And it looks so much better than the... that one that has all the bones in it that doesn't even really work as a table, and it costs like 1,200 crowns on the purchase tab. Like, if you just want a massive extra table, and like, it's even curved enough that you can reasonably scoot chairs under it. Like, it's not one of those, countertop situations where, yeah, you can use it as a table, but, it's a little, there's no room for your legs. Like, it actually has a little bit of curve to look like a table. That is just wild. I love that. And again, the scattered candles everywhere, very ritually. Got some hawkmoth glowies. Little caged pixie. It reminds me of the moon lantern in BG3. Yeah, these splendid giant sofas. I wonder if you could just magically scoot them forward. I have to imagine Azander has a way to just magic them all forward when they need to be, and then get them out of the way when the feast is done. Just have a little, hangout spot. Just sit and admire your aquarium. Your panoramic, wow. I love how this is just a, 270 degree view aquarium we have here. Oh, this is definitely more on the fantasy side of medieval fantasy, but yep, this is for the medieval contest. Dang, yeah, this is, conceivably a wizard could do this. Kind of reminds me of the dungeon that you actually unlock these windows from, Graven Deep. Wow. Yep, got a little bit of the bubbles. Yep, definitely more fantasy than medieval, but it could definitely work for, more high fantasy medieval setting. Got Azander. I have to assume Azander's the one who lives here. I wonder what that coffer's about. It's just kind of sitting out in the open. It's one of the chests that I really wish had an open and shut mode. We really need more containers. We've got the Dwarven container and we've got the Jester's coffer, and those have been the classic for forever. But isn't it time we got, a full-size chest that we can open and close? It seems like the simplest thing. Why do we have a little turtle that can only hold, half an apple? And that has a toggle state. But some of these really nice chests don't. It's kind of weird. Especially because, a lot of them are found in the overworld as assets that you can actually, have a little opening animation and see it. So it exists. Yeah, I love the crabs pathing around. That's a nice touch. That undaunted basalt column down there. Really cool basalt columns. Little starfish out on the rock. It gets suddenly very Cthulhu-y over here. I really love how it goes from just a normal kind of aquarium setup to, this is in the neighborhood of Relay when you add that statue. It's got the authentic Cthulhu statue from the Lux vendor just sitting on this more active lava vent. Got all the coral that kind of matches it. Got just enough minnows. Those minnows that look so weird if you put them anywhere but a fair ways away from the aquarium glass, just because how it follows your camera around. So if you're ever working with a less deep aquarium, you always got to make sure that they don't follow your camera outside the glass. It's just a weird particle in general, but yeah, from here, it actually looks kind of nice. It still looks like a screensaver, but it looks like a nice screensaver. And we got the skeleton hiding some gold, or guarding some gold, it looks like. And here we have a Cthulhu. Just like vampires are now called Draculas, all underwater eldritch beings are just Cthulhu's now. Love the placement of the tentacles. Got that creepy eye made of um, what was it? The nettle cap mushroom. That's a weird mushroom. I always forget the name of that. Is it nettle cap? I want to say yes. Yes, nettle cap. And then just a hint of the watchful eye. They didn't go like full green googly eye with it. They just hid the little black animated part of it for an even creepier effect than like the full-on Hermaeus Mora look. That's honestly a really cool use of this. How you can just, you know, turn it off so it doesn't have the laser, and then just flip it around. So you have this like really weird void goo thing that just kind of pivots. You put this in a cauldron too. Just have it like bubbling up. It looks really cool from the back, and I feel like not a lot of people have like played with all the different ways that this thing can be amazing. One of my favorite antiquities. So worth the farm. The gradation here from the lava vent to the more blue, really cool how that just kind of goes like from a little bit active to erupting. Got some Deadlands windows to shine that extra like light streaming through the cave. That is a great use of the projection of that Deadlands window. Just to have an implied like surface, like we're in an underwater cave, but there's like little holes in the top of the cave, and that's where the sunlight is like piercing through. So there's so many cool things to be done with window projections, and I really like the placement of the Deadlands window here. I'm assuming that's not a mistake. That's not like elsewhere in the build. Like that is very intentionally put. There's a bunch of them all over just to really convey that there's light streaming down from the openings. I also love that big old column with the lunar spires. Oh yeah, we were just talking about how there's an upcharge for bigger boulders, and that's one of them. There's the Lux Vendor lunar spire, and then there's a much bigger one that's only crowns. Right, Spellslinger? Yeah, you can really, once you realize what's been done, you just see the intentionality behind it, and it looks fantastic. It took me a second to notice because it looks just so like natural to what an undersea cave should look like. That's something I always worry about in contests. Like when something looks too good, like too realistic, that they don't realize the effort that's been put into the illusion because it just looks like it works. I always have to wonder, like, how many things go unnoticed because of how nicely they just come together. And this is definitely one of those instances where you see it and you see how it's done, and you're just like, oh, that's too cool. Got a little bit of mud crab, got big old Apocrypha corals. Again, upcharge for the bigger version. Got the lunar cactus. Love the lunar cactuses. I like how they're called cactuses, even though they look nothing like cactuses, and everything like just a weird alien coral that you see just on the moon, on Jode. I was trying to make your builds blend in with the default stuff. Oh yeah, Spellslinger. I completely agree. And yeah, like reskinning original houses can be such a tricky thing because especially in the base game ones, we don't have the tile set to actually blend it. So the trickery that people have done to make it look blended, like perfect example is the Breton market stalls. Like using them in Daggerfall Overlook and like adding to the shed that's there to make the whole thing look consistent all the way down. Like such a slot investment. And I really wonder like how many people noticed that they picked those market stalls just because they match some of the things inside Daggerfall Overlook so perfectly. Well, I like how it's on the white setting, and I can't even really tell. It looks just like a giant alien pearl. Or an egg, maybe. Like, this is my one gripe with those archival lights. The fact that they don't... Oh. I thought my lightning bolt was going through the glass for some reason. Hey, Jemmer, welcome in! How you doing? But yeah, like, my one gripe about the archival lights is that they don't have an off setting, because that would be the one thing that would make my light bright idea all the more perfect. But that is going to be a ways off, because I just don't have the gold for it. I've clocked it at about 9 million gold, maybe less if I take advantage of Zeal of Zenithar, which I think I'm going to. Just whatever excess gold I have at the end of the month is going straight into buying 600 of the small version of the Archival Light, just so I can make a Light Bright. And if anyone has actually beaten me to that, please let me know so I don't have to do it. Ooh, your Quandam Indarilla? I don't think I've seen it. So you're an EU main, right? So like, is it a lot of like rough blocks? I'm assuming. I don't know why I always assume that people on their non-main server mostly do home goods builds on their other one, but like I've seen some fantastic home goods builds, and now that I'm actually like semi-leveled on EU. It used to be an anime. Oh, okay, cool. Oh man. Well, that's awesome that you still have like some of the old stuff on both servers, and that I cannot imagine how much of a process, how much of a slog it must be to redo all the years worth of achievements that you did on one to do on the other. Because I'm not even level 50 on EU yet. I've had this tune for like 2 years now, and he's level 45. Yep, Krexar, welcome in. Yep, this is Cold Harbor Surreal Estate on PCEU by Clockwork Nautilus, and it is an underwater wizard's abode. So I love the little foyer as we come in, just to really show off that it's an underwater cave. And then, oh, now Krexar. Like, there's so many directions you can take an underwater build, and it really just depends on how much you want to commit to the aquarium. But yeah, I love this panoramic aquarium, and thankfully they've used some very large boulders and like the lava vents and the lunar spires, so it probably wasn't too much of a slot commitment to get this size of aquarium, which I am really impressed by, honestly. Like it, there are so many different directions you could take in terms of like how detailed you want an aquarium to be. I mean, this isn't even an aquarium. This is a like supposed to be like just the seabed. It's not a a curated aquarium in a building somewhere. They've really done a great job of basically making Seavale Spire. Now that I think about it, like they've really nailed the Seavale Spire look as best they can, with even better glass. Because I haven't picked up Seavale, but I think my main complaint is that the barriers, like those magical Nedic barriers, just look kind of awkward when they like kind of float in and out of perception. So I much prefer the dwarven glass look for some of these. You're designing yours as an underwater city at first, and ended up with a theater. And oh, mostly jealous of their windows. These dwarf glass windows are fantastic for aquariums, as I'm sure most of us know by now. Like this is like the meta aquarium window for the big ones. The small ones you can get away with display cases or even constellation stills. Back before we had anything that looked anything like real glass, there was just implied glass, and if you wanted to go the extra mile, you just make it physically unjumpable by adding a constellation still. You got the nerves behind you as you got your 3 ESO housing entries in today, your first contest attempt. Ruh-roh, Raggy. Hope you're well. You know, that's so funny, Jemmer. I literally just submitted my 3 before stream today, too. Like, it's just something about that ADD brain where if it's not down to the wire, I can't commit myself to doing it. So I have not entered a house in the from scratch category, and I really can't think of any of my houses that would be, contenders that aren't copyrighted. Like the one thing I would consider doing would be my Majora's Mask Moon, but it's so blatantly Nintendo, and Nintendo being Nintendo, I feel like that's the worst possible copyright property to have done a from scratch build on. Use the same, but the feel of their water area behind it. Oh yeah, well there's little tricks here. Like there's a lot of little distortion tricks, as you can see. Like for one, these minnows that I think you can get a la carte from the purchase tab, and they're relatively affordable. They make water distortion, so as long as you have them close enough to the glass that they're not clipping through when you pivot like this, they make a sizable amount of distortion to imply water. And then, you've got the bubbles. These are expensive as hell, but definitely the most bang for your buck in terms of like how much distortion is created. But they're considered special furnishings. So, you can only have 10 to a build. And then my personal favorite for getting away with even more like wiggly air, this this craftable lava stone. I just really like how it wiggles the air so much. So you can really get a fair amount of implied water just by making a geothermal vent as part of your underwater scene. So yeah, highly encourage you to pop in here and get inspired if you feel like you want to revamp your build at any point, because there are just some really fun. Oh, I didn't even really clock the big old fossil spine thing over there. Really Cthulhu-y. Like that's all. That's the best way I can describe this build. Like it's just a cozy house in Relay, and just you're just living next to Cthulhu's house. I really love it. Used a lot of the alien trees you get from what? Oh yeah, yeah, using them as kelp. Or no, the alien mist trees. Yeah, those are great too. The mist texture definitely works for that. Coral, yeah, yeah, and they look like coral, don't they? They kind of give the same impression as the lunar cacti. Yeah, that's awesome. And I don't know if I've mentioned this while you were in chat, but if you want to go budget with your bubbles, you can actually flip the ginkgo trees you get from the Somerset home goods vendor. Um, and the way the petals fall, you can actually they like don't obey gravity, so you can flip the trees over and have the bubbles or have the petals like rise up, and they look just like bubbles. But they do despawn about halfway down the trunk, so you have to make sure it's completely upside down vertical first of all, and then as best you can hide the trunk so you can have it as high up as you can so you don't notice the bubbles despawning. But yeah, it's definitely what I used for my one underwater build before they gave us actual bubbles. The only downside is that there's no distortion like the minnows and the bubbles and the lava things give you. So there are like smaller things that wiggle the air, like obviously candles, braziers, whatnot. But if you really want just a bunch of wiggly air for no crowns, these lava vent things are so good for that. Plus, they have the cool sparks too. I feel like that even that really looks like heat coming off of the rock underwater specifically. Yeah, I love the big old spine and the Lovecraftian statues on either side. Get the piranha plant one over there and the Cthulhu one over there. Big old bronze tentacles. And just some of the efficiency tricks in this build are blowing my mind. I really love this Deadlands wall as a whole table. Just the top of the Deadlands wall wide as this big old banquet table. You got a little bit of clutter on here. Got a goblet, Molag Ball key, of course. A little stacked plate of individual sweet rolls. That is something you will never find me doing. I'm just too stingy with my slots. So if there's an excuse to use the 5-pack of the sweet rolls from the achievement vendor, I'm definitely always going to do that and just put them on a platter. But it does look really cute, the individual stacked ones like we see here. Got some produce, got the big old appropriately Molag Ball cake, and a little slice of matching cake slice. Gorgeous, gorgeous house. A lot of gold, a lot of flashy, wizardy gold stuff to go with all the, the Lovecraftian Daedric metal. And then these Leowin chandeliers, one of my favorite. They even use these Khajiit. So these are also a home goods thing. These you just get in Reaper's March in Ralka. And they're just big old spikes. They work great as chimneys. So yeah, anywhere you need just a big old pokey bit of gold like that to hang your chandeliers from, or to turn them sideways and just have like a cool little spire somewhere. Those are super cheap and they look awesome, as you can see here. And again, the underside of that lattice apocrypha tile, I just had no idea was such a big chunk of flagstone like that. So I'm really gonna have to keep that in mind, because that seems like something I will forget immediately off after stream if I don't try and commit to remembering that. Let's see what we have tucked away here. Oh man, I love that you can just see it from different angles too. Like it's all just so massive, and it just looks great from every angle. Got a little bit of alchemy, cute little. I like the random skull next to every crafting thing, and the little pets. Hey, buddy. Yeah, you're a cute one. Little stacked book piles. This cool little landscape here. Ooh, again, making use of the fountains and the waterfalls to drip a little water on these mushrooms that are clearly just thriving in the salt water. Well, this could be under a lake. Who knows? All it says is it's underwater. Yeah, really cool mushroom landscape thing here. I love this little lantern too. Another like ridiculous that it's only crowns only a la carte, but at least it's only 100 crowns. Ooh, got lots of books for your enchanting. Got the mausoleum bookcase that I always just say fits in with all these aesthetics. Like Dark Elf, Breton, Deadlands, just anywhere you need like a big chunk of dark stone, and with unique clutter like this. This is such a cool Lux piece. And now that we have the furnishing vault, I'm really going to have to consider splurging more on Lux vendor pieces. My strategy of only buying when I need them has only gotten me so far lately, so definitely going to have to consider hoarding and farming more gold. Yes, Spellslinger, 100%. Yeah, you flip that guy around, and it's like almost the same on the back. Got that same arch. And yeah, this fits the notoriously difficult to effectively create a door on in the Breton and the Dark Elf and even the High Elf ones. Like this arch is like such a familiar shape and such a frustrating shape to try and fill in some of those houses. So yeah, this is just a fantastic fake door on the side. If you don't want the books, looks exactly the same but without the bookshelf on the other side. Like if there ever were a bookshelf to like have a swing out secret passage one, I could see Zos being able to convert this one pretty easily. Just take this front asset and just pivot it a little bit, or even have it slide. Like pocket door would be a lot easier to animate. Love these like super fancy luxe couch sofas everywhere. 9 commands of the 8 divines. That's an interesting book for a spooky wizard to have. And it's like maybe he's reading it for fun, or knowing his enemy. I love the sitting area. That Dawnwood lantern actually makes a really cool focal point on that arch too. I love how the headboard on this is that giant Iliad cage thing. I would feel it'd be smarter to use a wooden bookcase for a secret door rather than one made of mat. Yeah, it depends on the vibe. Why not both? Honestly, I could see having more options be like key there. Is there certain aesthetics where yeah, if you're like in a spooky Scooby-Doo mansion, you'd want a wooden one, but if you're in like a big like wizard tower like this, stone would definitely fit. Love the Nuka-Cola Quantum, of course, just precariously perched on this book. I love how wizards just don't care. They've got their own organization style. A nice coffer. Got this like incredibly expensive achievement piece, the Ashel Malawiya stone. We got Hoarfrost. I really like that these Flame Atro vendors and the banker have the little dripping particle effects, and they make light. So if you ever are doing like an in-room or something, and like don't want to spend a real slot and don't have a need for an extra NPC slot, you can actually just bury these guys in the wall or in the floor and have some extra light without spending a traditional slot. It's a great little trick for in-rooms, and you can even like use their drippy particle things to, wherever you need a drippy particle in either orange or blue. Of course, they're $50, so definitely not the easiest way to go about doing that. But if you just want them anyway, because you want to make the Oblivion meme of just having these guys in spicy situations, yeah, there you go. Yeah, wizards definitely are ADHD coded, just neurospicy coded in general. Like Gale from Baldur's Gate, perfect example of just the classic neurospicy wizard. Love the big old Titan skull there. And this, again, like, oh, I like that. Having the soul gem with the soul maybe trying to get out. Because this is one of those crown crate things, the Mage's Flame. And so it's been stuck right on that dream shard to make it just look actively doing something. That's a really cool little 2 slot effect cobble. Oh man, that might be one of the better uses I've seen for that little tiny mage's flame. Like, I've always seen it in the crown crates and been like, oh, I have no idea what I would do with that. And this is it. This is, I mean, also using them as eyeballs and statues and stuff. Like anywhere you want just a little glowing eyeball, or like adding glow to an eyeball, I should say. But yeah, this is another great little cobble here. Just sticking that particle effect right on the Dream Shard. Still haven't finished. Neither have I, Spellslinger. It's really sad. It's getting so sad at this point how long I've spent on my 2 playthroughs that I'm doing concurrently. I've got my Dark Urge that's mostly mine, and then I've got a Help Everybody run with me and Mrs. Tarask. Keep getting distracted, forgetting what you're doing, starting over. You've played the opening section like 5 times. Yeah, I would imagine that puts a damper on things. Oh man, there have been a few games where I've been like that. Like The Witcher. I I have not gotten very far in The Witcher 3, but I've played the opening segment at least 3 times now. I think the farthest I've gotten was the big cave with all the poison in it. Also, love the underlighting on Namira here. Really, really cool blue underlighting. Is that more? Oh, that's more Deadlands windows, isn't it? Those things are great. I love the projection on these Deadlands windows. You can just highlight so much, and I bet there's another kind of blue thing in here. But I could be wrong. It could be all just... I guess I could just look for lights. Lighting. Candles. The group's blue? Nope. Dream Shard? No. Yep. Deadlands windows. That's awesome. Yeah, so this underlighting we see here is not a light in the traditional sense. It is entirely the projections of those Deadlands windows. It looks so badass. That's another thing I'll have to remember. Like, just window projections under statues look super cool. Ooh, big old Alinor curtains. Ooh, even out of the mauve drapes that will only be mauve for who knows how long. But I'm glad they are, for at least the last year or so, just staying mauve, because they really match a lot of these bigger curtains. Really didn't like Witcher 3, just couldn't get into it. Too much lore from previous games, way too much side questing for a game with the basic premise of being in a hurry to... Yeah, I guess I didn't mind that last part so much because I'm just so used to it. Like, on the heels of, like, Oblivion and Fallout 4, it's like, oh yeah, you gotta find your dad, you gotta save your son. And it's like, do I though? Is there really a time limit to all this? Mauve? Yeah. I think I said it Mauve originally, and then I heard Mauve from someone else. And so I've never been entirely sure, and just Mauve is just a weird mouthfeel for a word. Hey, Orden, welcome in. How you doing? House tours are going amazing. We are in our first one of the evening, Clockwork Nautilus's Cold Harbor Surreal Estate, and it is an underwater wizard's lair, and it's definitely giving, like, Cthulhu relay vibe. Yeah, Krexar, do you know the pronunciation for relay? Relay? Because I don't. I've been saying it relay forever, and I have no idea if that's actually right. Give you a shout out here. It sounds too much like relay, which isn't very Lovecrafty. As you left in Oblivion because you're younger, less picky, and you're a blank slate character, the personal state. Yeah, that's true. Witcher 3 does come with a lot of baggage. That is it, according to your future brother-in-law, who is no joke a Cthulhu cultist. I kind of love that. Why not, right? I know Flying Spaghetti Monster was big for a while, so at least there's a little more weight with the, your tentacle monster of choice. Relay? I'm not saying relay. I'll say relay, but I will not say relay. It's like I call every tentacle monster a Cthulhu. Got the Happy Fun Ball. I like the deactivated orb of stone. It looks. Did they use two to hide the gaps, or does it just looks like that? Man, you see these Pokeballs everywhere, and they're usually active. So it's interesting to see just one hovering ominously like this. The lack of animation in its floating honestly kind of works with the whole like eldritch aesthetic we have here. Roulette. You say potato, I say vodka. Yeah. I could go for some fries actually. Oh man, I've been growing potatoes. I planted them in March, and they're looking like ready to pop, like looking ready to die off at this point. They keep making flowers, and I keep ripping off the flowers because apparently that's what you're supposed to do. And also, the flowers are actually toxic to small children and dogs, so it's like just being a good neighbor to rip off the flowers, which is a shame because they're pretty. But yeah, I never really like got into outdoorsy things before this year. Can't keep a garden alive. Honestly, Krexar, I've done so little. And this is on a patch of dirt that used to be where a tree was. And it was one of those sweet gum trees that like just dropped the spiky balls that I had to rake up every year, and I hated that. So I got the tree cut down. And then what I was left with was an entirely too fertile clump of soil that grew weeds like yep. I would pull the weeds. The weeds would be back in literally the next day. Like I would see thistles that were 2 feet tall, and they were like little sprouts the day before. So clearly a good patch of untouched land to actually do something with. So I just stuck some potatoes in the dirt, and then they survived, and I was shocked. And it was just water them a little bit, weed them a little bit, and now I've got potatoes coming. Live grow potatoes in pots on your back porch. You live in a desert. Anything not a cactus dies in the sand. You call. Yeah, that is a fair point. Yeah, unfortunately, because like potatoes are so toxic to animals, I am really sad that I can't grow them indoors. Like I've got too many cats who love to just munch on things, and it would be a bad time. Can't even keep aloe vera. Aloe vera is shockingly tough. Like it'll be fine for a month, and then just out of nowhere, just decide it wants to die. I don't know what it is about succulents. They are just surprisingly fickle for something that looks so robust. And you got the little forge. I like how all the crafting zones are spaced out. It's interesting. Like we saw the provisioning all the way back there. We see the alchemy and enchantment all the way back here, and here we have like a little crafting zone that's all the solid goods, not the consumables. Just enough clutter to really get the point across. Got a little bit of rolled up carpets for the clothier station. Got a tapestry, a little bit of jewelry here. Got the big old Molag ball chest. Oh, this is the Telvar one, isn't it? This is the one that costs a lot of Telvar for what you get. It's got a cool texture on it, though. Last time you tried, you ended up spending a quarter of a year, and all you had was a bunch of rotten dirt and a single unripe potato, which is no bigger than 20. Oh, I'm so sorry. Will I be doing any extra visits once I've finished? Hopefully, yes. That being said, I have a... Oh, have a great night, Singer. Really appreciate you popping in. Yeah, get that sleeps. Sorry to all my EU buddies for whom I am usually super late. But yes, I really do want to do extra visits, but it will probably not be until well after the judging is over for this, just because I am judging Real Endgame's home goods contest, and what was the other? Oh yes, Apollonia is doing a Pride contest, and I need to check the dates on that. I think the deadline just rolled over for that one. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. Yeah, I am super busy. I'm really looking forward to the Pride one. Not just conceptually, but because it's always, whenever people do rainbows, you just get the full catalog of like what colors are out there to work with. So it's a little selfish of me to say like how hype I am for a Pride contest, just because the practicality of seeing all the different colors laid out, and especially because we keep getting new Lux bits and new. Seen You've never understood the artistic aspect of spreading out the crafting zone or moving it far away from. I mean, for a living space, a lot of people just make houses to imply that their main lives in them, and even though they're not literally crafting at the crafting stations, because really, when you're in a home, unless it's a like fully loaded out Grandmaster crafting station, like there are a million crafting stations like outside the house that are much more convenient, except for those weird golden pursuits that make us craft inside a house. But if you just want to imply that your character lives here and just, commit minimal slots to doing so, I kind of get the sense of pride and ownership, not just in your house, but in your character. So it does kind of make sense to me, maybe not on an artistic level, but on a like roleplay level. Reflects your approach and yeah, like your Stone Eagle is not only as 100% practical as you can make it, but also very aesthetically nice how you stacked it all up. Sorry, have you seen your Sleek Creek Public Guild Hall? It was really. Oh yeah, I love that one, Krexar, and yeah, I really appreciate everyone who's made a public guild hall because I've been taking advantage of those. And Sleek Creek's a great location too because you just walk out the door and do your fencing too. After talking about artistic builds that have crafting stations, talk about full-blown guild halls. Oh, yeah, if you're a guild hall and you hide the crafting stations or spread them out, yeah, that's a whole other story. That's a weird one. That I can't even, like, think of a good justification for that, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, put the Grandmasters right by the door. Everything you would want to just, like, hot swap. Put your Mundus Stone in front of the door, put your parsing dummy maybe a little farther away, but yeah, crafting for sure. Get it as close to. I'm actually in the process of revamping my Daggerfall Overlook for exactly that reason. Because before it was what we had here, where it's just like, oh, I just want a little bit of like implied crafting. But now that I'm actually doing Master Writs and considering getting like Grandmaster stations just for the sets that I end up crafting a lot for alts, I will probably, yeah, Krexar. I definitely remember that one. I'm like 90% sure I've like popped it. It's like been on recommended a few times, right, for home tours. Because I definitely recall a Sleek Creek being named Public Guild Hall. So found ways to add in more again. Nice. Next time I'm on NA, I'll definitely check it out. Extreme opposite, you found J Heart's Guild Hall. The stations are arranged around the boat in Topal Bay. Yep, correct. Sorry, yeah, that's definitely I see it pop up on home tours quite a bit. Because I mean, honestly, like it's such a great public service, and I really want to make a public library with all the. I know you have your one in Proudspire, and I really want to do the same thing, but have all the readable books that you need to unlock the ability to buy them in Archive. I want to have those like right on the first floor, and then everything else will be on upper floors. And then I'll just like put it on home tours as public library, and I don't know if people will really get that that's the service that I'm trying to provide, but like, how many readable book furnishings do we have? I think so. Okay, when I first made my library in Silent Magnifico, I believe that came in around 300-ish actual books, not counting like the Crown Pack ones, but yeah, they've since added about 100, I want to say. So I'm moving it to Water's Edge. Nice, Gemmer. That's awesome. What house did you use for that? I'll have to see if I remember it. Because I like to pop into just ones that I see on the top of the list that I haven't seen or heard about before, which happens quite often. Alright, I'm pretty sure that is everything in here. I would have to imagine, given just how big and how extra that like panoramic aquarium is, and just all the structures all around. That's got to be. Yeah, 600 slots and only about 100 or so are not readable. Yeah, correct. Sorry, I'm planning to get even more minimal with my Water's Edge, just because it's like such a confined space. Like basically just 3 tiny rooms, and you can block off the other building and just have the terrace be empty or minimally decorated. So I really think I can get away with using like maybe 50 at the most non-readables. Oh, you have? Oh, we'll have to check it out for inspiration if you happen to remember the builder. I'd love to pop in, because yeah, that is exactly where I plan to put my. I was considering some 700 slot homes actually. Was considering. What was I considering? Hackvilds. But then I realized I'd have to do so much reskinning that I'd end up wasting 100 slots anyway, and I ran into the same thing with Grand Gallery. Like, the more I thought about how I would physically build a library in there, I'm thinking, like, okay, I could waste, 50 slots for... Oh, Span's got a book home. Nice. Yeah, so it is definitely a public service that exists already, I'm sure. I'm definitely not the first person to make a fully readable library, but I just kind of want to because it's, it'll be mine and I can pop in. It's like, again, the self roleplay aspect of housing cannot be understated sometimes. Companion house could be like, yeah, it definitely could sell this. But I'm planning on turning mine into a brothel, so I don't think I can squeeze a library into that. I'm making the House of Unearthly Delights in there. Right. Yeah, that's got to be it. Well done, Clockwork Nautilus. And honestly, the name even kind of fits the aesthetic here. Rapture of the Deep. Really, really cool. Love the big old Cthulhu back there. Stop looking at others' libraries once you ran into a guy who had a better one. Got jelly of the fact that he had books you can wait, there are exclusive books? Oh, like guild ones, like guild contest ones? That's a fair point. Like, if you're in a guild that has the... Wait, there are crown-only books that just straight up aren't available? Really? I did not know that. Which ones are those? It's really weird. Yeah, I had no idea. That is so weird. Alright, where are we off to next? Why is my period key not working? Alright, next up is Gladys Winter, Ravenhurst, Castle in the Mountains. I felt like I had to triple check that there wasn't like an upstairs to this beautiful, like, open hall. Alright. Gladys Winter, Ravenhurst, Castle in the Mountains. Bastion's fantasy is freedom from his dank and dark prison cell under the castle in the mountains. Can you help him plan his escape? I probably could, but do I want to? Do I want to help Bastion? That is going to be the challenge of this house, I believe. Oh, wow. This is a hell of a conversion for Ravenhurst. I love the... Like, as you walk in, you just feel a need to crouch. That was really well done, how I just feel like I'm in a crawl space all of a sudden. Like, I don't physically need to crouch, but I just feel like I should be crouching. So I'm gonna... A few crown bundles and I had a book that I've never come back around. What? I feel like I'm pretty well versed in the crown packs that we have, but like, are there really some packs that came out once and never again? Singular book on a stand that looks a lot like the one from the Lux vendor, but it was crown only back then when the crowns were new and has never been back. So what the hell? Yeah, I would imagine. Thank you for like sharing your research on all this because I had no idea. Got some little swords in a bucket. Or a barrel, rather. That was a cool little willow, I'm assuming. Gentle Weeping Willow. Yeah, I really like that as vines. Nice chunk of vines covering this cave entrance here. Hey, cooking koalas! Tom Cruise, yeah. Oh, man. I jump on a lot of sofas, don't I? I can't help myself. When I'm touring houses, I just jump on all those sofas. Oh, man. I was trying to think of something Danger Zone related to, but nothing came to mind, so I'm like, eh. Been watching a lot of Archer. Alright, we got creepy spider webs, creepy vines as we come in. Love the Solitude reskin. Ooh, even using just that tiny bit of the sulfur pool to make some wet ground. Love that. Just a little tippy top of the water texture of the sulfur pool, just to give us a little bit of dampness. Some moisture, if you will. That's how I flush out if Nord's lurking. The guy who had a better library was hoping his library would get enough recos that the devs would let him get copies of the guild-only books. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? I remember, like, before Microsoft bought ZOS, like, they used to be pretty cool. Like, someone collected like stacks upon stacks of lockpicks, and they actually sent him a skeleton key replica. Yep. So this starts you in. It looks like a crawl space in a dungeon or something. So this is Ravenhurst, if you can believe it. Yeah, we start out in this little. So all this is custom. These solitude walls they look fantastically gnarly and moldy, mildewy. Got the sulfur pools, got the granite slabs for the rough-hewn floor. Got a little fountain. Oh, that orcish fountain. Love that. Oh, is this the orcish fountain too, or is that a sulfur pool? That looks like a sulfur pool. Yep, sulfur pool. So that water's the sulfur pool. This one is the orcish fountain, and you can even see a little bit of the water from that one too. Right, cooking koalas? Oh, and it takes us straight to the door, to the backyard of this. I like the stabbed map. I feel like that's not how you normally stab a map. Usually you unroll it and you stick it on a fancy hardwood table that's never going to recover from that damage, and then you just give it a good stab, ruining the map and the table. Love the laundry hanging here too. Little socks. These are much nicer socks than the monomolecular socks that we have in the Leoin Home Goods vendor. I'm sure these are mostly like monomolecular too, right? Yeah, they got a little bit of they got a little bit more to them. Not much more, but yeah, they're still nicer looking than the Leoin socks and the very sad folded Leoin pants. Like, this is a nice looking clothesline. Alright, so they take us to the door to the backyard, where I'm guessing the majority of the house is going to be, because there's actually a lot of vertical build space in Ravenhurst. Ooh, and I think they're using that trick where if you look through water in just the right way, you see... Oh, maybe not. But I see a ghost chicken regardless, just kind of clucking around. Forgot the name of the player you once knew who literally ran around the zones for months, offering to buy the filleted fish you after you harvest it for roe. He was paying outrageous prices for what was basically trash. Something fun to do with all the gold. Yeah, like, people who don't get into housing have more gold than they know what to do with, and people who get into housing don't ever. It's just there's a very tiered system in wealth disparity when it comes to cooking to ESO, and I can't even think of what would be a bigger gold sink. I guess if you just really like getting all the crate cosmetics and collecting them would be more expensive than housing, but housing is... Oh, hello. Oh, man. That's how I play every stealth game. Like, I just pop out, I think I'm being all sneaky, like going down the hallway, and then literally the first NPC just walks into the around the corner that I was sneaking in. Still don't understand the trader changes. Oh, like, yeah, the 2 weeks instead of a month. Yeah, my only thought is that there was something sketchy and body going on that Zos was at their wits' end trying to combat. And so whatever... Ooh, is that treasure back there? Oh, it's just a lantern. Oh, there's a sneaky sneak. So... Yeah, we were discussing... I forget who we were discussing this on. I think Span's channel. Like, good ways to lead your dumb visitors to secret passages. And this is fantastic. Just a really gappy vine and a lantern beyond it. It just really makes you feel like you discovered something yourself, even though they probably painstakingly made this as obvious as possible. And all I had to do was turn my head to the right to be able to find this. Yeah, very smart. Wasn't into housing or style collecting or any of the other gold sinks. He had triple-digit millions. Trader changes helped combat the gold cartels from manipulating TTC price. Yeah. People would corner the markets on things that people needed or wanted, or especially like hard-to-find Lux things or motifs. I remember like back when getting Grandmaster Crafter was way harder because you had to do it all on one character and there weren't that many motifs to go around. So people could make a killing just like targeting certain motifs, and like anytime they see it pop up on TTC, just buy it up immediately and flip it. Because there wasn't enough volume to really combat that. So people would just, corner the market on their chosen thing, and it could be anything, really. It could be, or, if you had lots of capital, you could even go for like materials. Something that you could just hoard infinite amounts of and, inflate the value of things. And I feel like as time has gone on, Zos has gotten better at combating that kind of disparity, but I don't know how exactly that happened. Or people just lost interest in playing the market. Like, they've moved on to other games, or they just got bored of what they were doing because they didn't have anything to spend their gold on. I don't know. So we got this little lantern. We got this little tucked away... I can't... But wow, yeah. 9-figure fishies. Oh, hello. We got some blood. This is really cute how they just lead us down this passage. And the fact that this is all in the Ravenhurst courtyard. I said it had a lot of vertical space, but it does not have that much horizontal space. So it's wild how much has been packed into this little nook here. Yeah, I see blood, I see a little tapestry. Oh no, it's just wine. Oh, we're good. I expected the worst, and I was pleasantly surprised. Oh, I'm supposed to have come in from the other way, I think. If I had to guess, I think I'm doing this wrong. So let's. I think this is like one of those classic Skyrim delve designs where you take the long way around and then you see where it loops you back, and you're always like face palm. Like, how did I not notice that extra hole in the wall? Usually they make it like not jumpable, but some of them are jumpable, and you can go through the whole dungeon backwards. All right, here's the guard. Here's the brilliant fort structure. That is so slick. Love that. Also love the Fargrave curtain as like a tattered little flag. Goes great with the whole Rivenspire aesthetic. Also didn't realize like how much like town and waterfall you can see. Makes me regret only using the interior of my Ravenhurst, because I could do some really fun things with that. Oh yeah, that's how you get to the public dungeon. I know where we are now. House built. This is all crafting. Like, there is nothing like this in the courtyard of Ravenhurst. Ravenhurst is a very standard Breton wooden building, and this is entirely made of, see, a little bit of the giant Elsewhere platforms there, but mostly the Solitude walls and the Leyawiin turrets, because all those stones really go nicely together. Even got a little parapet situation with just the base rough blocks up there. I like that. A little lantern in the window. That looks really cool. I really enjoy how they've stuck a little lantern to give some more depth to the Leyawiin turret windows. And if I'm not mistaken, they added a Colovian window to that turret. Looks really nice too. And then that is an orcish stable back there. Kind of imagine, yeah, Castlevania world, which, I mean, Rivenspire is basically the Castlevania zone, right? Other than, I guess, Greymore, a little bit of Blackreach, but yeah, like, this is so dreary, like, Uberwald. Hey, Rose, welcome in. Ah, you're not late. I was late. I was like 10 minutes late tonight. So yeah, right now we are in Gladys Winter's Ravenhurst, which the interior has been turned into a little tiny crawl space, and then the exterior has completely covered up the house and done like this, yeah, like Cooking Qualls was saying, Castlevania world. I love that. Look at the mist. So, is that all fog of Hagfen? Hold on. Yeah, there is only one kind of dense, not animated mist, and it comes from one particular crown pack. Fogs of the Hagfen. So we've got the mists of the Hagfen that you can get from the Crown store whenever, or the Crown Purchase tab whenever, but there's also this much denser, like Silent Hill kind of fog. And oh, while I'm here, I always forget if that's special or traditional. That is special. Wow, what an underwhelming special furnishing. But I mean, you get 10 of them. You get 10 special slots. So if you want to like do like a spooky Silent Hill mist, you got to buy a lot of crown packs for it, and they only come around during Witches Fest. But that, you cannot beat that for a vibe, especially how it's like kind of streaming through the trees like that. Love the lunar boulders as a big chunk of mountain over there. The Leyawiin archway with the little janky portcullis made from that Charis one, the Falmer fence. Never late. It was 10 minutes before Tom Cruise. Exactly. We are always in the danger zone here. Yeah, love these little Falmer Charis exoskeleton portcullises and fences. You got that Evermore funeral banner that's just a chunk of black canvas. Oh, yeah. What I was saying before. That wood bit, that roof bit over there is just such a great use of that orcish stable from the Lux. This whole thing, it's a massive piece. And it really fits the vibe. Even the little stone bits, it just totally fits the vibe of this bleak fortress that we find ourselves in. How freaking cool. And this is mostly out of bounds, right? Yep, this is all out of bounds. That whole fort was either very carefully built up brick by brick with precision edit, or they built it somewhere else and copy pasted it. I mean, either way, that is a hard thing to pull off. Yeah, I can only get about this far. I like how they added the Zenithar gate to the back of that, and that is what is that wood bit on the portcullis? Ah, nice free painting. Very good use of the free slots in here. You got the Zenithar gate. You got the free painting. Multiple free paintings. It looks like. Honestly, I'm surprised that they look as brown as they do in this light. Unless they added something else. Or is that the singing wall? I don't know. There could be a bunch of things. Nope, just a bunch of stacked paintings. Cool. Yeah, I love the Elsewhere platform for that really big chunk of stone or brickwork, and then you've got these little rough stone things for all that classic like castle parapet look. You got a headless statue there. This fort has seen better days. Oh, this is a prison, probably. This is like probably a straight up prison. Like the whole function of this fort is to keep Bastion underground where he belongs. Love the waterfall cobble here. That was a really nice looking waterfall cobble, just kind of wedged in there. And it flows all the way down to yeah, the Ravenhurst thing. Okay, so this is the way we came. This is how you get back to the house. So this, where does this take us? See a little well. Got some laundry. Got the wanted poster and the letter. Love that. And they got the clockwork junk heaps that I always sing the praises of, just being a fantastic chunk of rich dirt for very little money. But if you want the bigger one, you got to pay crowns. It's a little silly. You got the moss. What is that moss? Ashen moss. Fun fact about this moss: it is one of the few moss or vine-looking things that actually has a hitbox. So you can actually use it for your treehouse cobbles if you want to span some branches and be able to walk across. You can actually walk across this one, or use it to block off areas you don't want people getting to. Wow, this is one of those builds where I cannot mentally place where I am in the house itself. Like, so much has been added and converted that is just mind-boggling. We got the big Solitude Well as a whole, like, porch awning in and of itself. Got that crypt door, got a little bit of that chunky druidic doorway. Got a curved Leowin wall as a curved little footbridge here. Love that. These scrubby little junipers down there. And again, a lot of clockwork junk heaps for that dirt. Got a torch just kind of leading us down all kinds of secret passages. So they took us really far up and then really far down again. That is really making great use of the verticality of what you can build in this courtyard. Like I said, not a lot of horizontal space, like, at all. See, like, down around there, there's a little bit more in that back. I like how there's, like, a guard post to just kind of watch over, Fellsrun? I think that is the town of Fellsrun out there. Honestly, the whole town view of this house looks so in tune with, like, this big prison. Like, I could definitely see someone building a prison like this in that town. And you got the flaming oil cauldron. Some really nice siege weaponry there. Really, really cool structure there. So yeah, Ravenhurst has 400 slots, but they've packed so much detail into the structure. I am shocked they got away with all this. Really nice view of that waterfall. So yeah, we are fairly far up above the actual wall of this house at this point. And then this little side passage takes us back down to the ground level. And you can still see a little bit... Oh no, those are merchant stalls. So you can still see a little bit of the existing... Actually, I don't know if that is part of the house or part of the neighbor's house. I think it's the neighbor's house. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they covered up, like, the whole house. We've got these nice little doors we can't open. Door over there. And we got this cute little merchant area. We got a chicken. What's the book? Obscure Killers of the North. Love it. It's becoming a popular one just because the name is so striking. I'm seeing a hell of a lot of obscure killers. Got that nice clockwork or Colovian bookcase. Clutter up there. Oh wow, shocked they have so much room for clutter still. This double Colovian square table. I think Zos has finally realized we like rectangles that we can turn into perfect squares. That is our base requirement for a small to medium-sized table. And a little overturned chair. A little bit of chaos happened here. Is it just a janky little piece of cabinetry added to that bookshelf? I love it. The ivory little actually, I don't know what this is. If it is supposed to be a stool with ivory on it, I have some questions. That is my one question for Gladys Winter right now. What is that ivory and stool combo supposed to actually be? Because it looks very intentional. It doesn't look like it was like a fake cabinet now that I'm looking at it better. So I'll have to give that one a think. Yeah, I love the wine bottle and the little hanging herbs in the bottles. Got some grapes up there. Really tiny home vibes. Love it. Got your hearth right next to the little tiny pantry and the little dining room. It's got like trailer vibes. Ah, and this is how we get back to the secret tunnel. There we go. That is really well done. Is there anything? Oh, okay, and then... Is this how Bastion is making his escape? Oh, wow. Oh, okay, so we're following this path backwards, but intentionally. Oh, yeah, here's the dungeon. Okay, so here is the dungeon under the fort. And this is where Bastion came from, apparently. Love that. The mix of the sulfur pool and the mist of Hagfen, and again, the really gnarly looking grate with those Falmer Falmer fences. We got a Soul Shriven being lightly tortured, it seems. Oh yeah, he's in the gibbet, which I really like this for how to get around the problem that most NPCs are too fidgety for the gibbet. My only go-to for sticking something in this thing has been the skeletons. Everything else just fidgets way too much. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is an antiquity you get from the Wandering World bosses in the Deadlands. It's like a full-on body cage. But the problem, first of all, the problem is that it's curved like this. So it's very tricky to actually position any actual bodies in the body cage. Because nobody naturally has that much scoliosis. And they all fidget. So I really like what's been done here, just taking advantage of the fact that it curves out so much and making him a little like girdle or corset to keep him in place. And he's still a little bit fidgety, as these Shriven are wont to be, but not too bad. Yeah, really, really digging what was done there. And you got a little wheelbarrow full of bones, got a ghost chick on, and there's the man himself, right where he should be. You got the Bloody Book, Materials for Novice Necromancers. I love this book. This is one of my favorite of the new books, just for how bloody the texture is on it. We've got a pheasant. What was done with the pheasant? I feel like Bastion is using this dead pheasant. Oh! That's the ghost of the pheasant. Interesting. I love that. So, what has been done here? I guess maybe if I go deeper, I'll understand the environmental storytelling that was done. Right, yeah, if we could buy those thralls, like, not as a pack, but just to have, people would be making so many zombie apocalypses with those things. I have been very tempted to do a PTS build with, like, a Resident Evil kind of vibe, and just, like, go ham on those packs. Because those packs are year-round, right? You can always get a pack. So you can buy as many as you want on PTS, and thralls are traditional furnishings. So if you just had infinite money or wanted to build on the PTS, you could make a fantastic zombie apocalypse with just those vampire thralls. So someone who wants to do a PTS build, keep that in mind, and please let me know how you end up with it, because that sounds awesome. Okay, so it wasn't Bastion who did the jailbreak. Someone else, his co-prisoner, did a jailbreak. I love how this whole bar. I like, first of all, the fireplace gate as the prison bars. Love that for just something you can very easily like pivot onto the floor that matches the curve of that Solitude arch when you stick it under the ground a little bit. There is such a story to be told in this one. I love it. And only 400 slots. Anchor. Love that. The upside down anchor, because I think that's the one that has a little bit of animation to it, right? Yep. You can see it kind of swaying there. And it's got a really nice chain. There's such a variety in chain textures and chain models with some of these. So the anchor has a fairly nice one. Yellow bones. And this is probably like an implied exit. But if we can actually get up there, that would be something. Okay, yeah, we have the that Imperial archway taking us through this little crawl space. Okay, this is as far as we go. So that is, we are right under the fort. That is where people go from the fort down into the dungeon. And then got a little severed head in a box. What's in the box? Got the sawdust pile. Alright, I'm not sure why Bastion has murdered a chicken. Oh, there's the key. Oh, is he... Did he perform necromancy on the pheasant that was to be his meal so that the ghost chicken can retrieve the key for him? Because he is a mage. I could see him being able to do that. Yeah, that chicken seems very intentionally like walking back and forth with the key. But there's another key. It's even got something kind of highlighting it that I only just noticed because I am a dum-dum. Jubilee cake. Love it. They sunk the cake under it just for the light. That is super clever. Just anytime you want to highlight something in your environmental storytelling, you can use a cake or a cake slice just to get that little spotlight effect. And speaking of spotlights, love the illuminator just for some soft light going through the little implied hole in the dungeon roof. Okay, so there are two keys. There's a pheasant. It's a shame that it was a pheasant and or a chicken and not a turkey. I don't know why I even bothered with that one. Okay, so it seems like Bastion is on good terms with this chicken enough to retrieve the key for him. Not sure where the guard who was carrying the key ended up, but maybe that was the guard. I don't know. I feel like there's at least one dot I'm not connecting here. But either way, yeah, it really seems like Bastion is retrieving a key via some kind of necromancy, and now he's going to be making his escape through the... I love how they added that witch's totem for the flies and the fart cloud. Really cool how we have multiple insect particle effects to work with. We've got the beehives, and the classic one was always this holiday vendor witch's totem that makes the green cloud and the flies. And this guy was not so lucky. Is there anything else on his person? Through the cobwebs. So we don't want to go back up to the fort because Jorn is ever vigilant. So instead, we are going into this little merchant area who just happens to have a secret passageway out of his house. Oh, I love how much of the town you can see over the wall over here. That's really cool. I don't think any of that was placed. I think that's just how the town looks. I don't think I realized Fell's Run had a Fighters Guild. I probably did at one point, but have completely forgotten. Yeah, I love how you can just like peek through the window into the town itself. And then these little hints, these little breadcrumbs taking us where we want to go. This is a super inspiring one to come take a look at if you just want to see how you lead your guests through the less obvious bits of your build. There are some really clever tricks here, and they work on both sides of this tapestry. Like, no matter which direction you come from, like, you see, okay, there's like a little spilled thing here, keep going. And here we've got just this little, like, oh, hey, this spilled under it didn't pool up on the corner. It's like very definitely pooling under this tapestry, and voila, secret passage. You get these nice rough limestone stairs taking us through on our way to freedom. This lovely little waterfall cobble here taking us up. Gotta wait for Jorn to... This really feels like a stealth mission. Like, I feel so immersed that I'm just waiting for Jorn to, like, go back to his station so I can go through the other sewer entrance. There he goes. Yeah. You get back there, and I just hustle over... Oh, nope, I went the wrong way. That's cool. I can find my bearings over here. So we want to be down... Or no, wait, there was... The door was over here. Never mind. I just completely bypassed the door. Yeah, so that's how you get out of there. And we go all the way out through the crawl space and to freedom. That was so immersive. I am just in awe of both the structure and the storytelling and the immersion. Oh, hey, Bastion. Oh, that's too funny. I actually had Bastion as my companion, so I went, like, we went out of that whole story of Bastion escaping the prison, and there's the man himself. Because much as I loathe to admit it, when I do heavy attack builds, he is the best companion for them, hands down, so I can't not have Bastion. Alright, we made it. And I helped. Very well done, Gladys Winter. That was really cool. Okay, oh, I forgot the notes. I think I discovered everything on my own. Secret entrance / exit to the castle prison and the village inn. There's a concealed... Yes, okay, we found everything without the help of the notes. Perfect. Honestly, I think when I tour, I'm gonna not check the notes and go in blind, and then when I actually judge off stream, that's when I'll read the notes that spoil the secrets, because it's just so much more fun to discover them on my own. We'll keep going with that, and pretend it's not just because I keep forgetting to read that part of the spreadsheet. Alright, next we have Dayowi. I don't know how else to print. Dayowi. Dayowi. We'll go with that. Admiral Jester's Castle, Fogbreak Lighthouse. Tucked in a secret island lies the Jester's abode, built away from the prying eyes of the king's court he serves. Here he lives out the fantasy of the performance he puts on in the king's private quarters as a poor imitation of the royalty. But this time around, he does this for his very own entertainment and consummation of his regal desires as a fallen admiral turned jester and king's spy. Oh, that is a plot and a half. I love it. That is a hell of a story. Alright, let's check this out. I love any kind of plot line that revolves around Anglador the Mime. We got Alchemy, Anglador's best buddy. We got Fedra, lost as always. Got those nice... Ooh, the Jester music box. I love that thing. Love the animation on it too. That is such a cute little Jester animation. I like how they even hid the box so it's just the Jester's mini-me. Super cute. Got the jingly bells. Got the nice Jester, the new stuff from the Jester Fest, of course. Got these beautiful Galen dogwood trees with the bottle lanterns. This little outdoor entertainment space. Got these rustic little Leywin benches. These are Leywin, right? Rough bench. Nope, just rough bench. It's another one I always forget exists, because it looks like it's a perfect match to the Leywin table. And you got the old Jester stage. Got some of these new Jester wreaths. Got the High Isle. It's a nice little bracket situation, the High Isle lanterns there. And got those Crown Crate fireworks. I feel like I should have picked some of those up when they were in the Crown Crates, but yeah, just didn't want to spend the gems. I like how, unlike the Meridia orbs that I normally use as fireworks, these are asynchronous. This is a little weird to have all the Meridia orbs just exploding in sync. Got the tomatoes for throwing. I love that. I love when people add a box of tomatoes to any stage setting. You see the joke immediately. And it's just a sensible chuckle. Got more tomatoes for throwing over here. I feel like alchemy just goes around selling them beforehand. Pre-rotted tomatoes. Got the Dazzler dispensers over there. This is so whimsical right off the bat. Really, really cool. Alright. As is the case with all fog breaks, I gotta check every little back passage, because there are many. We got hands. There is a back passage. Okay. Huh. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to go in or out of this. Let's check it out. Just a little look-see. See where we end up. Oh wait, this isn't part of the house, is it? I've been fooled before. No, this is definitely the big old beardy man. Oh! Okay, so the beardy man is part of the house. The hands are not. Okay, cool. I did not realize there was a back cave with a beardy man in this. And all these, like, other stones. That's kind of cool. I think I remember there was a cave, but I didn't know where it was in relation to when you walk in the house. Oh, right, because that takes you to the docks that are a little secluded. They added this big Fargrave canopy. By the way, this is becoming my new best friend for slides, where I don't want them to look like slides. The underside of this has a hitbox that descends very far below the actual poles, so it's not perfect. But if you face it in this direction, you actually get a fair bit of uninterrupted sliding hitbox that you can use for, say, like minecart tracks that I just did in my Sword Singers. So without looking like a slide, it now looks like you're just like rolling down the minecart tracks. And I'm thinking I could probably get away with turning this into a ski slope the same way. Just hide a whole bunch of like icebergs like right under the hitbox and still have them be slidey. So might be playing around with that in Enchanted Snow Globe at some point. Anyway, that was a personal tangent of how much I like this canopy for very Trass-related reasons. Got the Ornogs playing out there. Got this nice little Kothringi canoe. Just a little bit of dock clutter where the dock clutter should be. A little cart. Have yourself a little snack where you fish. A little bit of sensible dock clutter. A nice bell. Gotta ring the bell. I cannot ring the bell. Sagis. Zos, come on. One of my many things that I bring up anytime it comes up. Zos needs to give us back the... Hey, Revy! Welcome in! Just zip zop right to the top of the mountain. Except I ran out of mag. Anyway, one of my many soapbox moments is that any interactable furnishing that does not have an actual toggle state needs to be toggle or interactable when a limited visitor is on. Who is it hurting to be able to toggle this thing? Actually, this one's a weird one, now that I remember it correctly. Because it's interactive, but like it has an implied toggle state in its preview, where it's just one toggle state, but that state is ready to strike. And I don't know what that's about, because you very rarely see an interactive furnishing that works like that. But it is unique for that reason, because most things like gongs and things like the monkey fan can't be used with EHT the same way that this bell can. And so this bell is one of the only things that does not have a toggle state, but can actually be used to toggle other furnishings with EHT actions, which again is a very like niche thing to know, but now that's something you know about this bell. It's just very weirdly designed, and man, if I had like an hour to just interrogate Cardi or some other Zos people, I would be wasting my time with the most unimportant questions, so maybe it's better that I don't win that contest. Because these are the things that would come to mind. I'd be like, oh yeah, let me give Revy a shout out. Speaking of things slipping my mind. yeah, that bell is so singularly weird, but in a good way, because I can use it to toggle the time of day, and you can use it to toggle the weather now too with the HT actions. And unlike every gong, every drum in the game that has an interaction like that, only the bell works for that. All right, they seems to have. Yep. Ooh. I love how they blocked this off with a thing that actually matches the stone too. Like it was so subtle, I almost didn't notice. Yeah, they are important questions for my own understanding, for sure. Only because, like, it's one of those things where I think I might be one of the few people in all of housing to whom it's actually relevant, just because of how it works with EHT actions. And there's so many little things that you just kind of learn about, not just the API of add-ons, but just how furnishings are designed and like how they've been designed differently over the years, just based on because the Nedic prayer wheels do not work the same way as the Orcish or the Deadlands puzzle cubes, in that I can control exactly what toggle state I want the prayer wheel to end up on, and same with the Meridia orbs, same with the salt lamps. But other things with multi-toggle states, like Calgrantide, don't work like that, which is unfortunate if I want to make like a dragon-based control panel, which I did try at one point in my Plinko board. But Calgranti does not cooperate. Some of the doors with multiple toggle states are really confusing in that regard, like the Sunspire door and the Zenithar door, just because they've got that extra third option on them of like locked versus unlocked. It's really weird. Oh man, wouldn't that be cool if every door had a like a lock functionality where visitors can open and shut a door, but only if you, the owner, haven't set it to like an extra third state of locked. I don't know how you pull that off. It would be cool if we could like granularly decide like, okay, this one is locked, but visitors can toggle such and such door and such light, but just not these ones that I want to keep the same. Alright, I don't know if I'm going up the right path anymore. Maybe I should pop back to the beginning, because now it reconnects, right? So I'm not getting the full effect of how this was probably designed if I... Here we go. Got the nice little beach bonfire there. Love the fireworks as we can. This is what I was saying. Like, it would be an injustice to come up the back way when it was so clearly designed to be approached from this angle. I'm just following Fedra up the cliff. Got the jester flags up there. Got the happy little shrubs. Let's see what's on this landing. Got those lovely druidic benches. Got some authentic druidic clay pots, clay bowls. We got refreshments. We got the Kinds thing as our latest bit of cool collectible clutter. Got Heruna helping out. Love that. That's adorable. We got Nuzume. Got Gilly Dilly and Tethys. A little bit of practicality here, it looks like, so you can actually do all your merchant, your banker, your decon, and all your inventory. Get that cool little Fire Song Gourd Lantern. You get the new Jester banner. Very nice. As we make our way up, very consistent with the Jester banners. And all the street lamps guiding us up. Nice use of these cypress trees. We got Keldora up here, rewarding our climb with cake. Because that was a big climb. I am definitely getting hungry after climbing all those stairs. Got the cute little cake slices there. Little Jester carpets. You got the feast. The feast of 1,000 beasts and the cheeses. Nice, efficient, pre-cluttered food things. And there is... So we got the lighthouse, and then we have a custom-built castle with all the High Isle and Druidic stuff that matches the aesthetic of High Isle. Really, really nice how this is consistent brickwork across. So let's start with the lighthouse. This weird TARDIS of a lighthouse. Like, I'm not wrong, right? Like, this is a much better, or a much wider blueprint when you walk in compared to outside. It is for sure bigger on the inside. That's not just me imagining things. Have those been added? No. Alright. Yeah, so we go into this lighthouse. That seems like something that Zos has done a lot more of recently. Like, bigger on the inside structures. I feel like the base game was more consistent, and as we've gotten to High Isle and Westfield, if you make pathing and it goes outside of range, do you have to make it in range and push it out? No. Or, oh, I see what you're saying. Like, you should be able to precision edit the nodes, if that's what you're saying. There's no reason you would need to bring it back in range. It's just tricky to toggle, to select the nodes. So you probably wouldn't be able to freehand it, because it's, unless you're tabbing outside of the range. Like, that would be my first thought. Try tabbing outside of the range and see if you can reach those nodes. But I do know nodes seem to work differently than furnishings, but you can still precision edit them the same way. And the way I always do nodes outside of a build, which thankfully is pretty infrequently, I always just go into the retrieval tab and precision edit them. And you can also do like the change path UI, but I always forget how that works, unfortunately, so I would have to have it in front of me to be any help trying to explain how all of those controls work. So I would say for the moment, if you're trying to like gently adjust pathing in a build outside of range, just stick with precision edit and just kind of like boop it with the, the directional keys would be the least amount of headache, I think. And if I've completely misunderstood your question, yeah, the change path, like, here. After this house, I'll pop into one of my builds with out-of-bounds pathing, and we can remember it together. Suggestions needed for a good theme set for a rich but manly man bedroom. Oh, Solitude comes to mind. Okay, awesome. Yeah, hopefully that clears some things up. Because, yeah, there's, like, when you go into the change path thing, you can, like, tab from node to node. Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, Colovian's a little girly, isn't it? Like, it's ostentatious, but it's very pink. At least the default Colovian bed. Also, there are some very weirdly shaped beds. But you might be able to cobble one bed into another bed. Like, if you like all the gold embellishments on it, you could probably find some sheets that you like better and clip it so you see the sheets of one bed and the wood bits of a different bed. Trying to think, what are some other rich but manly things? I mean, yeah, I guess Orcish wouldn't really fit the rich part. Oh yeah, that's a good point, Salvus. If we're thinking lore friendly versus 20th century, Vampiric, I would say Vampiric has some good choices there. Like, it, for some reason, it just strikes me as a little less flowery than the Alinor, which I guess is the point. I'm sure that's the, they took the Alinor stuff as a jumping off point and just made it a little more stark, a little more threatening. I still think it's funny that all the Vampiric stuff is just made of wooden stakes, though. That seems like either a flex or the dumbest idea ever. So, knowing vampires, it could be both. But yeah, I would mess around with the Vampiric stuff and maybe the Solitude stuff. And like Leowin's a little flowery. Elsewhere is very flowery. Alinor might not be too bad. It's very sumptuous. And Redguard. I think Redguard was mentioned earlier, right? Yeah, Rose mentioned the... Honestly, any of the Redguard beds are really... Yeah, Hlaalu is... Yeah, I can see Hlaalu being a decent choice. Probably not the canopy bed. The canopy bed is kind of a weird canopy bed. I wouldn't want to sleep in that thing. But it's so useful as a carriage. Yeah, Apocrypha... Yeah, if you can clip some of that Apocrypha sheets with a different kind of you could cobble your own headboard and footboard with the Apocrypha sheets because those are like solid black sheets and black pillows. So if you're going modern, Salvus has a great point. I cannot think of anything more like manly and modern, like a someone who lives in a penthouse or something, than like the black sheets with the black pillows. And yeah, if that's the kind of vibe you're going for, but it does look very modern, you might be able to adjust that with a more like rustic, lore friendly headboard and footboard. Ooh, Alien Ruins, nice. Oh, remind me, Rose, what house is that in? Can't wait to see it. All right, so we got some nice high isle, some authentically high isle clutter here. A little bit of a Breton clutter. We got some interesting things here. Got a chisel and a little hammer and a little spool. Some coins. Maybe the jester's. The alien. Oh, the Varla Svaya. Nice. Oh man, I'm a little jealous that you got that house right as the all the new structure pieces that actually let you convert it um, came out, because that is, I think, one of the nicest pools that we've gotten. Like just as a not making your own pool, but it just has a rooftop pool. So you could do like a modern high rise there. You could do some really fun things with that ruin that are not at all ruins. It might be one of the only houses where you can make an actual swim up bar where the bartender isn't in the water, just because it has that little divot in it. So I have to say, if I had that house right now, I would be using all of that solstice tiki bar stuff to make like a resort of some kind. And of course, it's a great cliffside for making slides. Animal monster trophies are meant, yeah, like Gaston aesthetics, 100%. Yeah, use antlers in all of your decorating. Oh yeah, I was curious about that too. What are Snapdragon points? You got a little ham in the process of being cleaved. Cloven? Cloven, I guess. You got the herb rack. Got some barrel stuff. Oh, that's clever. It's just a really, really make your point known that the trapdoor is off limits with some strategically placed barrels. Just want to test that theory though and make sure we're on this right track, because you never know. This is a big house with all right. There's a little bit of stuff in here. Okay, cool. A little teeny bit. A little bit of alchemy, a little bit of cooking. So I guess we just explore this, see where it leads. It's just hints of things. Ooh. Got the druid throne, got this neat little wall art cobble of the stone and the tree skirt that I like to call it. No antlers, that's compensating, yeah. Ooh, yeah, conversation piece. Yeah, bas reliefs. I feel like some nice like stone bas reliefs. Decorating the beast. Oh, okay. Cool. Oh, man. Do we see that in the movie? I can't remember what the beast's room looks like. On a cat tree, if there's a... Yeah, aw. Okay, so, yeah, immediately I'm thinking back to, like, High Isle, Colovian, and Vampiric, maybe Eleanor. Eleanor is very Disney-esque. Just, its whole vibe is Disney. Like, all of Somerset is like as Disney Castle as you can get. So I would probably start with Eleanor and Vampiric, knowing that, and just see where it ends up. Like just explore all of that tile set and see if you encounter any cool stuff that would work for the beast. PBC Guild. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, I've mentioned before, Rose, I do not run a tight ship. I run a very loose inflatable dinghy at best, so I don't even know what the protocol is. So, yep. PBC Guild, Redeem Guild things has Snapdragon points. Various ways to earn and a list of things you can... That's so cool. Except for once you've been saving them for a year and had almost... That is amazing. Holy crap. You get crown houses for doing guild things. I love that as a way to run the guild. That is really cool. So Dark and Destroyed... Oh, right, it is. Okay, so yeah, Eleanor's too polished. Okay, then I come back to Solitude. because that Solitude Noble stuff is so scuffed, and you get the Broken Mirror. Um, I can't think of anything more scuffed than Solitude. So if you want like a broken and dark destroyed beast room, I would start there. Right, so we have a little bit of druidic clutter here. I feel like I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be here. This might just be the pre-furnished druidic stuff, and that I might just be intruding on a space that they made clear was not supposed to be trespassed in. If I had to guess, because this house is just a maze of entrances and exits and secret. Oh, right, I'm behind the boulder now. That boulder that blocked off the cave. That's what I'm behind right now. I'm inside the boulder. You can kind of see the edges there. All right. Escape from Alcatraz dinghy. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so none of this is to be judged. If I had to guess, this is all just a little bit that's been added, or that's been like in the back rooms. So let's get back to. Oh, so like on the heels of that last build with all the secret tunnels, I saw that this trapdoor has been like loosely barricaded with these barrels. Like there is a hint that I shouldn't go back there, but it wasn't blocked off or anything. So I was like, okay, is this an invitation or a declaration? So I jumped over it just to see, and I saw like furnishings down there, but not too many. So if I had to guess, that's not supposed to be part of the jester lore that we have here. It's just like some very default druidic things. So I'm just gonna see it for what it is, but keep in mind that that might not actually be part of the build that they want to be judged. So let's see. Daoi, if I am right or wrong about any of that, let me know. Got the lovely sunflowers, got these nice little books. Very cute. Stack. Ooh, gotta read the books. Cheeses! Got cheeses of Tamriel. That seems like appropriately jestery. Cheese is just a funny food. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It just is. Everyone has very strong opinions about cheese, especially Bastion. That's why he's in jail. Show. That's hilarious, Rose. It deleted your message because you had too many dots between it and it thought it was a URL. Oh yeah, I don't have any real mods. That's all just auto mod. Yeah, it thought it was a URL just because of all the periods. Go in the PBC Discord. Yes. Nice. Yep. Wait, are you talking about cheeses of Tamriel? It's really cheap. It is like if you have an ESO Plus sub and you have like extra flex crowns, it's like I think 100 crowns, if that. Yeah, the cheese book I think is a weird book in that you can't get it anywhere except the crown purchase tab. Like I don't think it's in any packs that I'm aware of. It might be in the cooking pack now that it might be in that weird like perennial cooking pack thing. Furniture. Gold Road Deluxe pack. Nope. I could have sworn there was like a perennial furnishing pack that had some weird one-offs. Oh. Man, I'm constantly forgetting to redeem my ESO Plus on EU. Kitchen sets. Nibbin Valley. Nope. Multicultural books. Craglorn Multicultural Knickknacks, which is also the only place I'm aware that you can get these wrapped parcels that look perfect for Christmas trees. But to my knowledge, you can't get this one a la carte. You have to get the pack. And the pack is full of complete garbage otherwise. You get this. Okay, the scrolls are crowns only, but they're very cheap. Oh, Krexar, thank you so much for sending that cheese book. That's awesome. Yeah, they are extremely affordable, but they are crowns only. Whether you get it from the pack or you get it from the the purchase tab. But yeah, I have at least one of those books in my Shiogorath build for very obvious reasons, and I regret nothing. Alright, got a little sequestered high aisle. I feel like some of this might be the pre-furnished house. Like, I'm getting vibes in here, but I'm not 100% sure that, like, I might not be supposed... I might not actually need to be in here because this is the pre-furnished fog break, but I don't actually have it on hand for reference, so I wouldn't know. But either way, I mean, it still looks very authentically Breton and High Isle either way, so it's still, it's just a nice little castle for the jester. And yeah, a rule of thumb is if they're spending the slots, there's a reason they spent the slots, right? This is, 700 out of 700. So if there was anything more they wanted to add to their custom castle, they would have pillaged it from this section. So I can only assume this is all part of how they want their lighthouse to be. Yep, scrolls, book, parcels, and trash. For how much was that again? 1,500. Like, only ever get this pack if you desperately need those parcels. Everything else can be gotten a la carte for very cheap, or crafted, or just obtained any other way except spending crowns on it. And if I'm wrong, please someone let me know about that. I don't think I am. We got the Jester Dazzlers. Alright, let's take a better look at the structure. Now that we've explored the lighthouse, seen all these neat little nooks and crannies. I love the canopy that fits right over that dock, makes it in a little temporary boathouse. You got the Fargrave balcony there, got some high aisle walls. Got the high aisle windows, and I believe they are using the meta trick of adding something behind them just to make the glass make more sense. But I'm not sure. Yeah, I think they're using the backs of paintings for the free slots to make the windows look more windowy than just, a pane of glass that you can see brick behind it. Always a smart choice when you're using those high aisle windows. And you got these lanterns on a string, still one of my favorites. Again, regrettably, only crowns only for this. You get the individual lanterns and the individual banners as craftable, but if you want a whole string of them for one slot, these are crowns only. And you got Gasharog keeping watch. He looks like a nice, burly guard of this manor. You got Mr. Ascendant Lord out here. So I think after this one, I'm going to call it quits for the night, only because, I think I'm coming down with something, and I want to be 100% better by Saturday. So I'm going to give myself some rest, and hopefully shake off whatever is ailing me right now. But yeah, hopefully by Saturday I'll be 100%. Alright, let's see, we got... Yep, okay, so these are left transparent. Love that. Just they really framed this door, this whole doorway situation. Just having transparent glass on either side, like that to me screams like fancy rich person. And then yeah, they seem to have blocked off some of these windows over here with paintings for free slots, which is great. Had kitty aggro, the best kind of aggro. Yep, so if you want a nice slot-efficient way to add these high aisle windows to your custom structures, the ESO Plus paintings work really well for that. And speaking of collectible slots, we got Lady Garrick's Sacred Shield. Nice little collectible you can unlock for a very easy quest in High Isle. Then you got the War Drum. You got this nice underside of... Oh, no, they are the High Isle Wall Thin Castle. Very nice. Beautiful. You got this, just used for its prettiness. Yeah. Hey, Ayudas! Welcome in. How you doing tonight? You get a shout out here. Everyone follow Ayudas. Awesome ESO party person. I got the shark. I love this shark. I really wish that shark did not come with the plaque. It would be so much more useful for aquariums if it didn't have a giant plaque that you have to hide behind a rock or a wall. But I've made it work twice now. Once in my water park at the end of my slide where you literally jump a shark, and in my one-piece ship in the aquarium, I just barely managed to hide it in the dwarven window frame. But it also looks great on a wall. I can kind of see why they would want to make it as it is with the plaque if you just want a shark on your wall. You have a tradable version of that. That is wild, because yeah, that's normally from one of the crown crates. How'd you manage to get a tradable one? Was that just like they forgot to make it bound? Preview crate. Holy Krexar, holy crap. Yeah, you could probably flip that for a lot just for it being unique. That's crazy. You just holding on for dear life? Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, there's always that, like, I could have something that nobody else in the entire game has, or I could sell it for hundreds of millions. And thankfully I've never been in that situation, so... knowing me, I would trade it and have no regrets. One Piece. Oh, Salvis, you were talking about doing that, weren't you? Oh, you could do... You know it'd be fun for that, Salvis? You know how if you're on a slide at just the right angle, you go super slow? You could do Foxy's slow fruit by, like, having a part of the path be, like, moderately slidey, and just have it, like, convey, like, you're just kind of like, ah. I don't know. I feel like it's, getting to be, like, kind of fever brainy, and I'm just like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. It might not tomorrow. Ate a 42 million gold. Holy crap, Sal. Was that like an Aliad or a Dwemer one? Because those at least, you know, you could maybe recoup a little bit of that just crafting and selling for a markup. I like this added walkway here, this druidic one. It's got some nice terraces to enjoy your view. This house does have some phenomenal views. You can see all the way to the town over there. We got the cute little druidic planter, got a little wraparound spiral staircase. Let's explore. There's so much exploration to be done in this house. Oh, secret tunnels, secret jester treasure hoard, love it. Got a Kunzari, again, lots of little collectible free slots here. Got the apocryphal tome, we got a Kunzari. We got the big old pile of gold. Yeah, just a little secret vault, love that. That was well worth the trip, just to have a little spiral bit down to the bottom. And got the very pretty songbird music box. Elegant cask palm, again with the tomatoes. Love it. These might be eating tomatoes and not throwing tomatoes. They are for eating, not for eating. We got Ernskar, very nice. Okay, so I see what the backstory of that was kind of conveying, that the jester is, you know, former spy admiral and maybe currently doing some spy and spy adjacent things. And we've got this cool little woodworking station. We've got the big old crabs on the nice crab platter. I love how this platter was probably designed for those. Oh wait, no, yes, that is a High Isle platter. Yeah, I feel like that platter was designed for the crabs, specifically. Oh, the Khajiit braise. Yeah, ooh. Man. Yeah, they nerfed that, or they, I guess, buffed the drop rate of that, didn't they? It still drops from the same place, though, right? Just, you gotta keep doing those dailies? Or did they give you a different way to unlock it? Oh yeah, Revi, this could be a nice beast bed. This High Isle one. It's got a really sumptuous bedspread on it. And some more detailed pillows than I'm used to seeing. It's actually got like shading on those pillows. Ooh, little secret side passage there. Let's explore the obvious parts of the house and then go down the side passages. It's kind of a labyrinth. We got this little Craglorn thing. Got some cool, like, museum-esque things on the walls. All these big fancy paintings, these antiquities. Little kitchen area with some yummy dead things. Got a big old box of the recurring tomato theme. I honestly kind of love that, and the cabbage. Be better than the red guard too. There are so many bed options at this point, and there are so many that work. It's really just a matter of picking your favorite, which you just kind of have to see everything in the space and just use the purchase tab as your catalog. Like, if I could pick one housing tip to impart on everyone, it's use the hell out of the purchase tab to just see everything in context before you commit. Because you might be like 90% sure you're going in one direction, and then you find out the thing doesn't fit into space, or you find a better option, and there's just so much out there. So it always pays to just explore all your options with the purchase tab, and just see what you end up with. Especially for structures. We just have so many cool structures at this point. They're all different shapes, sizes, textures. They've all got their little quirks. A second one from document folders and sold for 3 million. Should have sold the first and eaten the... Yeah, right? Oh man, that's another new fear I've just acquired. Like, if I get something that's rare and Zosses it at some point. I got that lovely clothesline again. I was just singing the praises of that. Got a slide up there. Lovely little slide roof. We got the jester trees, very appropriate. Yeah, I mean, don't feel too bad for Salvis. Salvis is loaded. When Salvis talks about the gold he doesn't have, I'm just like, okay, but still. We're at the tippy top of this beautiful custom castle. We got the Dazzler dispensers. The nice high aisle turrets that match the lighthouse over there. Oh, I was wrong. It's not the songbird. It's the swimmy duck. Trying to find out what to farm to sell so you have gold. Yeah. I mean, mats. You can never go wrong with mats. And alternate currencies, especially Telvar and even AP. AP converts decently well these days, especially now that you can buy tripods. I am seeing an incoming burgeoning market for converting your AP to tripods and selling them for, you know, probably a little less than you would pay. But, you know, if you need an easy flip for AP, I'm thinking the new Alliance tripods are going to be it. And that is probably going to impact the Columbine market as well. So if you're just sitting on a big pile of Columbine, this is probably the best price you're ever going to get for those. And those were like the last holdout of like super rare alchemy mats. Oh yeah, sorry. We were talking about people cornering the market on things with the traders before. That was always a big thing. Like, people would, you know, the meta potions are very well known. So people would figure out what flowers are needed for those meta potions and then just buy them all up everywhere. Just drive the price up through sheer force of capital. And yeah, definitely sell those Columbines if you haven't already. I like to think I'm tuned into the market, but I'm really not. Go to Span and J-Heart for those. And probably Salvis and Krexar as well. You can now buy a tripod, like just a straight up, exactly the same as the craftable good ones or the crown reward ones. You can now buy those for 1,000 AP a piece. And they are at all the siege merchants in Cyrodiil and at the Battlegrounds merchant, where the Battlegrounds guy is. No, the Alliance health potion gives you, I think, health, unstoppable, and invisibility. So these new ones are like try restore. Oh yeah, Dragon Blood for heroism pots for sure. I like this little wraparound balcony too, with the high aisle platform and the railing. Really nice. Yeah, I love the views from the very top of this terrace. Alright, now let's go check out the sneaky sneak from the bedroom. Wait, did we? Yeah, we were there already. Where's that sneaky there? I love how this whole wall is implied to like shift on rails, and they kind of conveyed that with the little wooden section there. Let's sneak around. Oh, there's a guy. Oh, is the jester poisoning some wine? Or is this just his little private terrace? Wait, have I been out there before? Maybe I was there before. Is there a different sneaky? Need to make sure I've seen all the castle now. Ooh, here's a sneaky. Oh no, this is the bathroom. Still, very nicely tucked away. In that I didn't discover it until right now. Do all your secret jester business. I was waiting for this. I saw the pack. I saw all the pack stuff, and I'm like, okay, they have to be using their toilet here. Very nice. You got all the cloaks, got all the towels. Little rustic wash basin. Love that moth priest bowl. Very nice. Cool. Such an interesting flow to it. I feel so like bewildered as once a as a jester house should be. This has like a low-key like funhouse kind of architecture to it. Not sure what it is, just about the flow of this, but it's fun. It's very jestery, very whimsical. And I think that is it. That's got to be either it or close to it. But in a house like this, Daoi, it's entirely possible that I missed something, and if I did, please let me know. I did my best. There's just... It is the nature of Fog Break to be a maze. Yeah, that looks like it for the castle. Really nice, custom, bespoke structure here, built into this... I love how they give us this nice big cliff to build a custom castle. Like, if someone says they have a castle in Fog Break, I immediately expect it to be on this particular cliff. Because why would you not? Like, this one is occupied by the lighthouse, but this is just a big old rock at the top of everything, giving you, like, some amazing views. So yeah, great space for a custom castle. And now that we have weather control and we can make this place less rainy, I am very inclined to buy it. I don't know what I would do with it, but I'm just seeing so many cool, inspiring builds in Fog Break. Ran out of stam. And there's the dolmens. Go around the back way. I love these mossy-topped druidic pieces. I wish you could actually get those craftable. And these stairs! I wish we got the mossy versions of some of the druidic pieces. Because that's the only difference, right? Like, these are stairs that we can craft, except they have the moss on them. It looks really cool. Yep, so I think that's it. So that will do it. Sorry to cut y'all short, but I'm feeling not Hundy P. So yeah, let's find someone to raid off to. Made some decent progress. Did 3 houses tonight. And 2 of them were, well, all of them were very large and well worth just kind of exploring to the extent that we did. Oh, thank you, Aetherius. Ooh, we got... Let's go say hi to Iffy. Oh, thank you so much. I will try to feel better. There we go. And off we go. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight. Really appreciate you. So happy to see some amazing houses. And thank you for Terco and Aetherius Art for sharing all this creativity. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.